Welcome to our channel. We're so happy to have you here. Don't forget to subscribe and help us hit our goal of 100,000 subscribers. 1946 actress Celia Johnson and director David Lean head to Paris to celebrate Brief Encounter, a cinematic masterpiece. 1943, bandit Katya of the Dough Brush Partisans defying the Nazis in Belarus under Stalin's banner. Welcome to our channel. We're so happy to have you here. Don't forget to subscribe and help us hit our goal of 100,000 subscribers. On this day 50 years ago, the NVA and the Viet Cong captured the South Vietnamese capital of Saigon. As the city fell, tens of thousands of people began to scale the walls of the U.S. Embassy, but in the end, only 5,500 Vietnamese would be helicoptered out by American forces. Vietnam, 1969. An American soldier takes drugs to escape a war that felt like it would never end. South African police beating women with batons in Durban, South Africa, on April 17, 1962, after they had destroyed and set fire to a brewery in protest against police actions banning homemade alcohol. Mark Felt, the Associate Director of the FBI, second highest rank, who is famous for being the anonymous whistleblower known as Deep Throat, who assisted in implicating the White House's role in the Watergate scandal. Picture named Typical French by the Swedish photographer. Battlefields of World War I, 1914 to 1918. An exotic dancer demonstrates that her underwear was too large to have exposed herself after undercover police officers arrested her in Florida. Adolf Hitler hand-feeds deer, a chilling contrast between cruelty and pastoral calm. Danish foreman Bernhard Arp Sindberg, future hero of the Nanjing Massacre, poses with Chinese machine gunners during the Battle of Shanghai. Jackie Robinson, a baseball hero for the Brooklyn Dodgers, sits with his wife Rachel on the front steps of their house in 1949, holding his baby son Jackie Jr. on his lap. Nina Lean took the picture. Karime Aboud, 1896 to 1940, one of the first Palestinian women in the Levant region to pursue photography. Louis Leakey wearing his iconic coveralls over his tuxedo at a Leakey Foundation fundraising event, sometime between 1968 to 1972. Iran, 1973. A woman cuts her birthday cake unaware of the revolution looming just 5 years ahead. Seabees of the 33rd Naval Construction Battalion defuse Japanese ordnance at an ammo dump on Peleliu, 1920. Derry, New Hampshire, a moment of small-town glamour as the Winter Carnival Queen is crowned amidst snowy festivities. Julie Ann Crumpling, 7, was jailed at Oxford Castle Prison for stealing a pram, baby stroller, and sentenced to 7 days hard labor. 1870. On this day in 1996, the Port Arthur Massacre in Australia began. 35 people were killed and 23 were wounded. Australia immediately went about reforming gun laws, and around 650,000 firearms were collected and destroyed. This photo shows some of the guns collected. 1924, a hippo pulling a cart, surreal, whimsical, and a strange chapter in human-animal relationships. August 1944, Allied troops shield a French woman during sniper fire in Chart Liberation came at a cost. November 11, 1920, the unknown warrior lies in Westminster Abbey, a nation's grief in one solemn casket. American troops prepare Nazi Major General Anton Dostler for execution for killing 15 OSS men, Italy, 1945. The Kerman children with their French governess at a runestone, U-107, at the Antuna estate, Sweden. The inscription says, Gerlach had, in memory of Hemming, his son, and Ernmund in memory of Holmfrid, his wife, and in memory of Unna, his daughter. 1980. Soviet pilot Gromov gives an autograph to Hollywood star Shirley Temple. Actress Anne Rutherford in the 1940s, the golden era of cinema's timeless elegance. The Sunbeam 1000 PK racing car shown here before departure, Wolverhampton, England, 1927. New York. Miss Henrietta Mealy giving an iron ring to a contributor, October 22, 1914. During World War I, German Americans started program Gold für Eisen, where donors traded their gold wedding rings for iron ones, which was used to fund the German war effort. The photo of the tallest Nazi soldier on record, Jacob Nacken, captured at Calais in 1944. Captured Jews during Warsaw Ghetto uprising led by the Germans for deportation to death camps. Picture taken at Noah Lippi Street, near the intersection with Smocha. Todd Webb's 1946 photos of New York City, a metropolis rebuilding, reimagining itself after war. The Hassanlu lovers died around 800 WS and were discovered in 1972. They died in what seems to be an embrace or kiss, and remained that way for 2,800 years. Italian immigrants arriving at the port of Santos, São Paulo, Brazil in 1907. In order to prevent being mistaken for Japanese in 1942, a Chinese-American military worker in Los Angeles wore a handwritten sign in his back. A group of Japanese samurai photographed in front of the Sphinx in Giza, Egypt, during a visit to the country, 1864. On December 7, 1970, German Chancellor Willy Brandt fell to his knees at the memorial to the Warsaw Ghetto. Adrienne Ames, the starlet whose soft features mask the intensity of her Hollywood ambition. British airborne troops study graffiti on their glider before taking off for Normandy, June 6, 1944, a date etched into history. Animators in Disney using models to make the car chase scene in 101 Dalmatians work, 1961. June 3, 1981. Punk band, The Plasmatics. In a Milwaukee courtroom after singer Wendy O. Williams was arrested on indecency charges for simulating masturbation with a microphone during a concert and assaulting a cop. Charges were eventually dropped. This photo is one of only 2 photos in existence of the U.S. Supreme Court in session. Harutyun Hovakimian and a group of people are excavating the remains of Armenian victims from the earth in Deir Zor, dating back to 1938. April 3, 1945. A U.S. soldier poses with the Holy Roman Empire crown inside a Sagan cave, spoils of war and echoes of empire. A protester shows the blood-stained shirt of Edson Luiz de Lima Souto, one of the first students to be killed by the Brazilian military dictatorship, March 28, 1968. 1981, a 17-year-old Val Kilmer trains at Juilliard, the youngest ever accepted before fame. There was discipline. 80 years of Elbe Day. American and Soviet soldiers meet for the first time in Germany. Children go to class at a damaged school in Stalingrad, shortly after the ferocious battle that killed over 1 million, 1943. A picture taken by my German ancestor, the enemy Russians standing over their trench, World War I Eastern Front 1917. Shoichi Yokoi, the Japanese soldier who hid in the jungle in Guam for 27 years to avoid capture, weeps upon his return to Japan in February 1972. Mexican brachero worker is sprayed with DDT in processing center in El Paso, Texas, 1956. In some centers, they were given a shower of kerosene which caused the death of 25 people once. Rita Worth. 1944, the woman who redefined glamour during the war years. Depressing photo of a polar bear hunt in 1920. Ellesmereland Bay off the coast of Greenland. With great difficulty, the animal was successfully lassoed close to the ship. A photograph taken by the American W.L. Sachtleben, depicting the victims of a massacre of Armenians in Erzurum on October 30, 1895, being gathered for burial at the town's Armenian cemetery. 1924, the dancer Tanzarin captured by the lens of Madame Dora, merging poise with poetic allure. Dolores Costello in Glad Rag Doll. 1929, a silent film siren in a world about to find its voice. Baseball legends, Babe Ruth and Lou Gehrig fundraising for a new hospital at Dexter Park in Brooklyn, New York on October 12, 1928. Ruth subsequently commandeered a cop's horse and proceeded to ride around the stadium.